We are back after a few months of misfortunate incidents of my own personal things, but now we have returned with episode 4, the new episode 4 of the League Lounge. Today I'm here with the same guest that you guys heard from last stream or whatnot. We are here with Alan W2. Say hi to the audience, Alan.
Yo, what up? I'm Alan.
Um, Alan has been our team's coach before and has been again with us for so long. Thought I'd just have them join up with what we're going on about for this episode here. So Alan, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Happy to be here.
All right, we're gonna start off. Today's topic is gonna be Week One at LCS and two new champions. One is already being played in the LCS, but another one that's gonna be released soon in public. But first, let's talk about Week One LCS now. Have you watched LCS this weekend? Last weekend at all?
No. Funnily enough, I just now started watching one game right before this happened.
I mean, that's all fine. That's all fine too, because we're gonna go over the scoring anyways, and who is 2-0, 1-1, and 0-2. Because obviously in those two games that somebody's gonna verge victorious, somebody's gonna drop defeated. But even so, we're still gonna look at the details of which could be the major factor of a super team or consider a legendary team itself. So there are four teams considered a 2-0, two teams of 1-1, and four teams that go to 0-2. Now these four teams that are 2-0 is, get this, C9, Cloud9, Dignitas, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest. Now Cloud9's new roster consists of three Korean imports, which is Summit from LSB Live Sandbox, Berserker from T1 Challenger, and an NA talent called Winsome. Recent reports that we heard from Winsome is that he reached Challenger in 1 month as a support. So you as a Diamond player, in case you guys don't know who Alan W is, again, he is a Diamond 2 mid, right?
That would be correct. Yes.
So as a Diamond player, how hard would you think is to reach, like, say you're going Diamond, it's Masters after that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how hard would you say, considering on your rank, your experience right now, is how hard would you say it is to reach Master within like 1 month? It's That's very impossible, right?
It can be very challenging. Yes. Climbing from like high diamond to into that masters is definitely a hard thing to pull off. Especially if you're like me, you're kind of like the average diamond player, just being there to hang out, you know. But hitting challenger in 1 month, that's very impressive while also playing support, which is probably the most macro intensive role in the game. So hey,
Right?
props to him.
Yeah, exactly. Because I always assume support will be very, very like difficult to play, especially you don't have a reliable ADC to really help back you up for this. But because of Berserker is from a challenger team of T1, a Korean super team with Faker in it, and yet Berserker cracked, beating against what's said to be fan favorites EG and Summit on top, because Summit is considered the best player of Live Sandbox because he's actually a great counter duelist to Smurf against a 2v1 situation. He can actually 1v2 anybody on the top lane to the jungler and blah blah blah. He can actually Smurf anybody. So with C9, with those new Korean imports, you gotta admit that's actually pretty hefty roster there, right?
Yeah, say it's pretty impressive. Also, again, 1 month challenger with randoms as your AD carry. That's pretty hard.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm looking for C9 as they go on to their spring split. Dignitas. Now, obviously, you said you haven't watched a lot of LCS there, but Dignitas, formerly in a lock-in, has beaten reigning LCS champions at lock-in in the playoffs. They have defeated them in a 2-0. So when you think about it, in their situation, if they have if they beaten a reigning champion in lock-in in a playoff section, do you think they could potentially be coming? Because they had been considered as like a medium team before, but do you think they can potentially come back as a hefty team so far in spring?
I mean, like you said, they 2-0'd reigning LCS champions. So I
Yes, they
mean,
2-0 in the playoffs in a lock-in, which was the preseason basically.
I mean, hey, if they can keep that momentum then going on, then yeah, they could definitely be one of the top teams to go to Worlds and all that. Yeah, for sure.
Now, next team is 100 Thieves. They lost to Dignitas in the playoffs, like I said, but had a great time in lock-in. They actually went almost undefeated. Lost to FlyQuest, but they actually beat C9. Not with the Korean imports, but they actually lost to. They actually won against C9 Academy of some sort. So they could. Do you think as their performance itself, do you think they can manage to redeem themselves in the spring split? Considering, like I said, professional play are could have major factors in them, but considering how much they kept the roster the same, do you think they can manage to come back stronger than ever?
There's always a possibility for that to happen, especially if you keep the same roster. You have the same people that you've been playing with for a while compared to maybe other teams that have new teammates, so they might still find some problem getting synergies done and all that. Maybe they don't know exact timings, but odds are if you're with the same team for a good while, then with no changes, then you develop timings and all that. You know how your team plays. So yeah, I could definitely see them coming strong, knowing that they've been with the same team, they know all their habits and all that. So I could definitely see it.
Awesome. Okay, next one. FlyQuest. Now, in one of the matches in best of ones, 100 Thieves actually lost to FlyQuest because of Kumo picking picking Gwen as the top laner because of some draft differences here. So Tukuli, if you don't know who Tukuli is, guys, Tukuli is an LFF superstar, basically a legend considering that region. Now that he's come back, he's actually smurfing on other teams, even TSM, guys. TSM, a 7-time LCS championship team. Tukuli coming to LCS as a mid threat. Plus Johnson Afremu, I think if you look at history, they had a former bot duo history before, but they actually look pretty good in FlyQuest. And do you think that if you actually come into it from different region, like for example Perks, for example, we all know the Perks went from LEC to LCS and actually smurfed on some mid laners, and yet came back strong with the LCS coming to Worlds, basically winning, going out of groups, going into the quarterfinals for C9. Now with Tukuli as FlyQuest, a new mid threat, do you think that's gonna be the same for Tukuli and such? Considering how Perks did it, and now we can have see a new mid laner from a new team basically be considered as a mid threat.
You never really know with these type of things, because I mean it's a new player kind of coming into the, say, LCS circle, so maybe not a whole lot of people know who he is and all that. But with how Perks did it a couple years back, whatnot, I mean I don't see why Tikoli couldn't do it. I could definitely see it happening.
Nice. All right. Next teams is gonna be in the middle. TL, Team Liquid, and Evil Geniuses 1-1. Now, if you didn't watch the lock-in, guys, TL and EG were the finalists for lock-in, and TL came out victorious. They are now the back-to-back lock-in champions. Now, Team Liquid. You do know the rosters, by the way, right? You do know the players in general.
Yeah, I've been looking them over as we go.
Yeah. So TL has Buipo. You know who Buipo is, right? From Fnatic.
Yeah, yeah.
He's actually considered a beast top lane. And there's Santorin, Bjergsen. You probably know who Bjergsen is, right? Everyone
Oh,
should.
of course.
Most people
Everyone
in
does.
league should know who Bjergsen is. Anyways, Bjergsen, the king of mid, coming back along with Han Sama, and where there's a mix up. Ayla, and then there's gonna be Yun and Core JJ, or Han Sama, Core JJ, and Bradley being on top. There's a bunch of switches going on in TL, but in that main roster, Buipo, Santorin, Bjergsen, Han Sama, and Core JJ. That actually sounds like a super team, does it not? To be honest.
I mean, yeah, man. You got good old Core JJ, awesome support. Whippo, like you just said, he's a beast in the top lane. You got Santorin and, or not Santorin. You got
Bjergsen?
Armor and all of them. Yeah, you got all of them. Really good jungle. Bjergsen, of course, got a mid lane. He's probably the most well-known mid laner in all of LCS, known for his Syndra and all that. This is definitely a powerhouse team.
And especially like they actually lost to EG in one game too. So EG in their roster, they actually have a academy mid, kind of like a rookie here. One is Impact, former world champion, inspired from Rogue. Jojo Pyun, that's the rookie, and Danny is another rookie too. But if you saw one of his games before, he 1v4'd I forgot which team it was, but he 1v4'd a team with Tristana, and he actually did it with style. Like he actually did it with good style. And there's Vulcan, former support of C9. So that team almost potentially made it out with a like undefeated record, to be honest, in the lock-in, and they lost to TO 3-0. So do you think that in these two teams, these super teams itself, with a couple of good superstar legends and rookie reworks, like not reworks. There's no word I can say it, but a basically super rookies. We just call them that, super rookies basically for EG. Do you think that TL and EG could potentially have a comeback, or are they? Do you think they're gonna fall?
It's really hard to say how this
Oh,
goes just because
let me sorry. Let me actually add on to this too, because when you think about some super teams and some like non-good teams at all, some non-good teams could actually pop off very well, because let's back in 2020, where Blabber was just started his first year, he became an MVP. But meanwhile, there were also the Fnatic of 2018, where they had a they had a good amount of lock and not lock, they had a good amount of legend stars such as Bwipo and Fnatic, like I said, Broxa, really good jungler, Caps, known as the king of off style picks, Reckless, the bot lord of all, and Hylissang, the cunning, the most like mastermind support. That Fnatic beat all of the other teams, including Cloud9, 2018 Cloud9, and lost to IG. So that's considered as a super team lost. So that's where I'm gonna put you up to there. TL and EG, could they potentially have a comeback, or would they fall?
it's really hard to say, especially this early on in the season. There's a lot of factors that can go into and all that. We don't know how much the meta will shift based from now until Worlds comes by and whatnot. For all we know, the meta could have just completely made a 180 turn to what we know now. But because having veterans like Bjergsen, Core JJ, and stuff like that on your teams, they sort of know how to adapt in these sort of situations with how metas can change drastically. So I think if when the meta takes a super big turn, I think veterans like Bjergsen and Vulcan and all that, I think they will be able to outshine the other um newer players on these other teams. That's what I think.
Okay. Next one is one team. It is one team that is, like I guess I mentioned before, way but before, is very prestigious. TSM being 0-2. They had Huni, Speaka, but they also have three LPL imports too. I can't remember what their name is too. But oh no, I'm sorry. Their ADC is Tactical too. Former TL ADC. Tactical on there, including Kaido and Shinyi. I think Shinyi is an academy, Kaido is somewhere else. But with that in mind, do you think that TSM being 0-2, will they manage to return being a top 5 team? Because they actually had a pretty bad split against Dignitas and EG. So do you think they actually manage to come back, or do you think they'll end up slipping this year?
I'm a pretty big fan of the sort of like I guess underdog story and all that. I believe like I mentioned earlier, like all these teams and these players, like some veteran players, like on TSM, we got Huni and Spica. They know how to get around, win games and whatnot. So I think it really just depends on how the meta shifts and if it shifts in a direction where these players maybe it can be advantageous to their playstyles and whatnot. But it's really early in the season. We're still trying to figure out what's good and what's not, really. So it's really hard to tell right now what's gonna happen.
Yeah, considerably. I thought that TSM, as soon as they lost Bjergsen and Double Lift is still in TSM. I would say probably is as a streamer now, but they lost two major superstars in their team that could potentially have to win worlds and games. So with that loss, I assume that TSM are just gonna be sinking in the dirt.
Yeah, that could very well be possible. I mean, unless these unless this new team can say otherwise, like yeah, like you said, losing two big powerhouses, Bjergsen and Double Lives, like that could definitely hurt, or it could actually help TSM.
Especially I'm gonna go back to C9 for example. C9 has a new coach, LS. Now LS has been not accused, but LS has been basically known for ridiculed of picking these weird conceptual draft ideas and uh change. We call this change of meta for in terms of LS's term and mindset, but those two that idea that he did won them the two games against. I'm gonna give you who it is. It's gonna be Golden Guardians. They won against Golden Guardians, and no other than EG. They beat EG with freaking Soraka mid, and they beat Golden Guardians with Ivern mid. So with that portion of the draft concept of the meta change itself, do you think that this could actually be a rejuvenation of what you call off offset meta, like offset meta changes basically?
I mean, I think there's always going to be a spot where, sort of say, off meta picks are going to be relevant or work or whatnot. Just because maybe there's something with like items or whatnot on certain champion that could be really good, like how we've seen Corki have a resurgence with a new like Luden's Echo Manamune build and whatnot. I think there's always going to be stuff like that happening, and with LS being as knowledgeable as he is, probably the most one of the most knowledgeable people of on League of Legends. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more offhand picks, like you said, Soraka mid.
Especially we've seen. Here's the thing, Fudge, while he is good on top lane too, his seemingly strength comes to being playing supported supported mids, which is like I said, Ivern, Soraka. It could be Lulu too. Lulu could be considerably a good mid pick. What do you think about Janna, Zyra? What other enchant? Oh yeah, no, Zyra's a mage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So well, enchanters, like I said, Janna could be it. What considerably will be a best like champion to actually work with too? Like I said, Lulu, Janna. Who else?
Yeah, that's basically it. It really you can do Seraphine. Seraphine has always been a really good lane
Okay, Seraphine too.
enchanter.
Lissandra, by any chance? Lissandra?
Lysandra will always be a pretty good control mid lane mage,
What about
just because of how her kit works.
what about LeBlanc? Because have been concepts about LeBlanc not being good of anymore because people can now pretty much expect her to not expect it but predict her W location and all that.
You know, I'm a fan of, and that LeBlanc probably will not ever really be bad in like a competitive scenario, just because we've seen how Faker, whenever he needs to, he normally just pulls out LeBlanc, and we know how that goes. So I
Mm.
don't think LeBlanc is ever really in a bad spot to say. It's just, I don't know, it can be rough sometimes just picking her into certain comps.
Not to mention, Fudge used to go Lux and actually die pretty hard on a Lux mid. So that's where I was curious about because Fudge seemingly is not good at mages, but he's seemingly good at enchanters because he's very supportive of a role that he is. Because he plays a lot of top. plays a little bit aggressive, but manages to support in a way that he can actually help assist Blabber a lot too. So I was wondering in this case, the enchanters being the enchanters being underrated as it is. Like I always assumed that Lulu Mid has always been one of the champions that have always successfully managed to come towards top, mid, and support before, and now it's being now enchanters are being brought back by LS. I could potentially see another Lulu Mid reach buff again.
Uh, I always say Lulu. Karma is also one of those champions
Karma too, yeah.
that was mid top support, very dominant with her tank build. Uh, Karma's a really good option for an enchanter mid. She can already be a mid laner by herself anyways, so
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just always
So
see that.
exactly. So I can't wait to see any more champions that come from Fudge. Especially he played a lot of good top laners, and now he's moving down to mid. Had a weird time before, but actually improved exponentially. Now actually picking supported mids that actually work. So I'm actually excited to see what kind of like I said. There's a new roster for C9. Only Blabber and Fudge are left with 3 Korean imports. So the communication, the language barrier is there, but yet they're when you look at their comms, if you listen to their comms that's just been posted right now on YouTube, that they actually have no struggle with that too. There are some struggle with the language, and anyways, they do speak a lot. Koreans do the Korean players do speak English pretty decently. So that's what I'm curious about. Is like the language barrier itself is there, but Fudge and Blabber are considerably the only ones that are adaptable and all that too. So they are managing to help these Korean imports summit Berserker and Winsome to the fights itself. And Berserker, like I said, came out cracked because of Blabber's engage. Fudge being able to heal a lot of heal a lot on those teams itself, and Winsome just basically just doing Winsome things. And that's where I'm hoping that in this case, this is where the tables are gonna turn. Basically, it literally a literal tables have turned situation. Like, what's your opinion on it though? Like,
Yeah, I could definitely see it happening. It's really again really hard to say at the beginning of the season. We have this to go off of, and it can be really hard to predict on who's gonna keep rising to the top or who's gonna stay at the bottom. You know, for all we know, a team like Golden Guardians could come back easily and just destroy all of LCS within the time for Worlds. I mean, we just never know.
right? Yeah, exactly. That's because there might be a resurgence of meta changes before and after, especially when things like times like this, where uh there are especially we're gonna move on to this new topic. 2 new champions have now been posted. One is actually being played at LCS right now, and another that's gonna be released soon in public. One is Zeri. Now, obviously, like I said, it's been a few months, so I have not played Zeri yet. I did play once, but I did not like her at all. But other pro players, they seem to enjoy her. But what do you think about Zeri so far? Considering that you played more than I did, so I'm here to read like your first impression of Zeri before.
Personally, with Zeri, I think she was really she was fine tuned on release. I think she's good. I think she's a really good champion. She has a nice, unique way of attacking where you have to press Q instead of the normal right click. You know, um, she's got really good tools in her kit. Like the W is really good for sniping and whatnot. Her mini dash is kind of whatever, but it helps pair with her Q to clear waves fast if you need to get a rotation off, whatnot. I mean, overall, she's really good, and yeah, she's really like high skill and also high risk, high reward, sort of. So
Yeah,
it's really good to see pro players actually like her because I like her too.
especially Let me just break it down. The Q itself, you think about it's like a Samir passive, so it's like kind of like a machine gun kind of thing, that kind of thing. Jinx W. Zarya's W is kind of like Jinx's W, except if you blast it towards a wall, it creates a bigger laser, dealing more damage. That seems broken, to be honest. The E is what pisses me off the most, to be honest. E is the talon jump, too. Not just a dash, but it's also a talon jump.
Yeah, she likes to parkour around the map.
That's why I don't like it. I'm like, bro, she just pops out of nowhere with the talon jump. Bro, we already had to deal with talon one talon. Now we have to freaking deal with two talons. One is in mid and one is a jungle basically, and one is in ADC now. That's just so annoying. And not to mention her ult is a freaking blitz ult.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I didn't like her at all until I see a pro player. I was like, okay, so it kind of works. The people understand how to keep away from Zarya a lot, but once you get caught with the CC, then Zarya is pretty much not Zarya, but Zarya to other champions is basically free kill.
Yeah,
That's what I like about it, because you need a CC like Leona and all to a CC support to actually help Zarya to like fish off like range and all that too. Plus her movement speed stacks too. That sucks.
yeah, that's a really good part of her ult. Yeah. Now, granted, it does take a while to stack up for that movement speed to be like super good, but yeah, just any kind of movement speed she can get to kite around is really good.
But hey, to be honest, I made a joke about this, but I don't think people understand. But apparently Riot has now formed the Powerpuff Girls.
Uh
Can you,
huh.
can you guess who they are?
Let's see. I can only assume Zeri's one of them.
It's three
Uh,
girls. It's three girls.
would Gwen happen to be one of them?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's get a. I don't want to say Annie's the last one.
No.
Jinx wouldn't be one. It's got to be
No.
a red haired. Be red,
Well,
right?
red hair, but I'm thinking more on a certain champion that really pisses people off before.
It's not Samira, is it?
No. It's
It's got a
Seraphine.
red. You know what? That makes sense. I
I
was
was
about to
like,
say Katarina, but that one makes sense, really.
so Seraphine, Gwen, and Zeri. When you look at it carefully, those three basically look like the same facial structure of an actual girl kind of type. The smiling e-girl smile portrait. Basically, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
basically, I just call them Powerpuff Girls of Riot of League of Legends. Freaking Zeri, Seraphine, and Gwen. Dude, do you know how much broken that would be if you have a Seraphine and Zeri on bot? Along with no, not even worse. Even worse. Gwen on top, Seraphine mid, and Zeri on bot. Those three laners are just you're gonna be so pissed off a lot.
Yeah. They're pretty annoying to play against. I would agree with that.
You hear those folks? You guys got. If you're a laner, that's their concept. That's their concept draft now. All right, next one. We got Renata. You heard about Renata, right? The new champion that's gonna be
Yeah.
released. They're released like a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Renata Glosk is her Q is a knowledge Q. Her W is basically a science passive. Chemtech soul buff. If I'm making any mistakes, by the way, Alan, you're more than welcome because I know you're higher level than me, and I just want to make sure I correct myself on this so I know. And all that blood shenanigans. E is lock on Corgi ult missile, I guess you could say, and then an R is it's just a wave of berserking smoke. So allies and enemies attack each other with higher attack speed. Those are correct, right? Am I missing some, or am I wrong about something?
Her Q is it's like a straight line skill shot that hits something, but you get to choose the direction of where they get pulled.
What do you
It's
mean?
not like
What do you
Nautilus
mean?
hook.
What do you mean? It's like a blitz cook then?
Well, it's like you hit them, and then think of it kind of like a Talia W, where like
Oh, they get
when
knocked
the
back
rock
like
comes
the.
up, is
Oh,
that you get the Q off on them, and then you get to choose if they come towards you or if they get knocked back or whichever way.
wait. So is Renata like a thresh basically with the Q?
Sort of. I
S-
mean,
So you
if you choose a direction towards you, yeah, then
huh? What the wait? No. So what the heck? I'm so confused on Renata's Q at least.
You
Cause
hit them
no,
with
that
this.
one,
It's a straight line skill shot. You hit them, and then you get to choose the direction where they go
no, that one I
after that.
know. But I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about what role she'd be perfect for. Is support, right, or ADC?
Yeah, she'd support. She'd be
Oh,
support.
cause that Q itself, it makes it sound like that Q itself. You're just trying to push back. You're trying to push back some. It's it kind of like you're giving an advantage to the enemy lane to the enemy player. Basically, you're not really like trying to pull people in. You're just basically pushing them out. And but you can either push them to the back, to the side. You can actually pull
Yeah.
back. You can actually pull back in them because it's considered a direction, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so it kind of so it is considered like you can actually pull back in. Okay, never mind. Then so you're right. It is like a Talia thing. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be more like you can't really pull them in. You can only push them out. Then I'll be
Nah,
like,
you can pull them in. Yeah.
oh, that's actually a little bit scary then. Consider like it's like, oh, sorry, no, Swain Swain has a thing too. You can actually pull them in. That's a Swain
Yeah.
passive, right? So you can actually grab them and then pull them in case, yeah. W anyways, Cyan passive, Chemtech so buff. That's correct, right?
Sort of. Yeah, it gives you movement speed and attack speed, I believe. And if you do die with it, you come back to life for like 2 or 3 seconds. And if you kill something, or if you get a takedown, you immediately revive.
And so it's a
Like
freaking
right on the spot. Like you don't go back to fountain. You're still there.
so basically like freaking it's like a freaking auction
It's a
on
better
the spot,
auction revive.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, E lock on Corky ult missile. You could consider say.
Uh, I mean, sort of like that. It's just your average AOE ability that slows.
Mm. And then I already
It's
saw.
like a
Oh,
zero W kind of, but it doesn't have like a sweet spot. It's just like that circle there that just slows. Yeah.
oh, I see. Oh, I know. Okay, that one I couldn't expect
It
it,
also
but
shields actually. It actually shields too.
okay. So, that makes me hate Ronaldo even more because I now main support.
Oof.
um, now R. I already saw videos of Ronaldo's R. It's like a huge like wave of smoke, like Nami kind of thing, but it's like a smoke berserk smoke.
Yeah.
And allies attack each other too, and enemies attack each other. That's correct, right? Allies can attack each other. Allies can attack other allies,
Yeah.
and
Well,
enemies can.
the enemies attack their allies. Yeah.
No, I'm saying can allies. Oh no. Wait, what am I saying? Enemies can attack each other, obviously, but I'm wondering
Yeah.
if allies can attack other allies if they get smoked
No.
in, right? No, obviously, right? I would think
No,
it's
it's
like,
only the
bruh.
enemies.
Okay, yeah. So, but if the enemies do see an ally, then they attack them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that actually covers it up then. Yeah. So that's kind of that kind of champion itself. What do you think about like? Do you think that's actually pretty overpowering? Do you think she's actually in a firm like edge of she's actually pretty good herself, or do you think she needs a little more like what obviously she doesn't obviously what it sounds like she does not need anything more. She sounds like she just needs a little bit less stings like a nerve at least.
I don't really know if I can say anything about Renara just because it's super early.
I'm just I'm I'm
I've
just
used her a
assuming.
couple times.
Just I'm assuming.
Um,
Just assuming.
I mean, based on how you would look at her kit and all that, yeah, it seems kind of broken. Just you just ult the enemy team and they just attack each other. That's kind of dumb.
But it's a wave.
But
Is it wave though? You can actually block with
yeah,
Yasuo ult and all that too. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine. Not
yeah.
Yasuo ult, Yasuo W and all that too. So that part is okay. That's where I feel like it's okay. But all the lock on Corky ult missile kind of thing ability, that's not fine. That's not fine. The Scion passive kind of thing, that it's kind of like a timing matter. That's okay. Q is also okay. I feel like the R needs to kind of change a bit. Actually, yeah. No, I'm sorry. The E needs to change a bit though. E.
From my experiences with her, E hasn't been that impressive in my opinion.
It hasn't been.
No.
Oh.
Just from my experiences, I haven't found too much use from the E. I've only really seen her W is really good. Her Q is pretty gnarly if you can use it properly.
Oh snap. Okay, so I'm at,
Because the Q also, if you knock it into another enemy like champion or minion or whatever, it stuns them. So
okay. And considerably with these champions, Zeri is AD. What is Renata?
Renata is AP.
AP like enchanter like is it like seraphine AP, or is it like
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
or
like
is it
that. Yeah.
like moonstone AP, or is it kind of like Zerath AP?
Um,
She doesn't have
I
any
think
heat.
it's Moonstone AP. Yeah, it could be Moonstone AP, but I don't think you would go Moonstone. I think you would go Imperial Mandate on her. That would be her item.
Oh, kind of like a Morgana. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's kind of like that. Is there any way she can actually go tank or AD? Like, is there any possible chance? Like, where it's like kind of like Nautilus kind of thing, where he doesn't need he's not AD, but he could use AD and all that. Is there a possible way, or no?
From how she's built and scalings and all that, I don't think she can. I think she's just strictly gonna be like. I think maybe if you wanted to go like one or two AP-ish items, like support items, and then go like tank, maybe. But I just think she would have the best use overall, just sticking to it an average like support enchanter
I
build.
see. Okay, that's at least assuring for me, because like I said, I'm here to talk about. I'm here to think about like concepts here. What's gonna be very like advantageous for certain like champion and all that. What could be very disadvantageous and all that. That's what this show is all about. We're here to talk about this concept and all that too. So yeah, that's really good. Good. Basically hearing from what as a high elo player, consider I don't know about obviously the PBE system here. So from hearing from your perspective, that's actually pretty nice to hear like what Renata's in the public is gonna be all about. Um, so yeah, that's actually pretty nice to hear about Renata not being at least too overpowered, but at least a little bit firm overpowered, but it's actually right there in the middle. That's what I like. All right. Next one. We're actually gonna do a little bit of fun day topic like we did in other episodes. Skarner rework. So everyone voted. Skarner is now voted to get a rework on this. But in your opinion, Alan, what would you like to change on Skarner? If it's you get to choose on a rework, what would you like to change on Skarner? What ability will all blah 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 blah?
Let's see. So Skarner, the one thing I would like for them to change would probably be his. I don't even know. I personally voted for Nocturne, but Skarner. I guess the one way to change about it is like try to make his gameplay a little more unique in a sense. I mean, you do have his pillars that you can go around the map getting, and that makes him stronger. But I don't know. He like besides that, he kind of has like a one way sort of like play style. He just all he does is really like press W, maybe press his predator if you have it, go into the carry, ultimate away from the team. Like I don't know. I just wanted them to do. I would like to for them to do something better
Yeah,
than
but
that.
that was not the question though, Rowland. The question was, what would you like to change on Skarner? Like, not make it better, but what would you like to change on Skarner? That way, it'll be much better if you know.
Yeah, it changes linear gameplay.
But what kind though? Like, his. You say you want to change his pillars at least or something like that.
I say instead of like make his yeah like to what I'd like for them to change is make his gameplay more unique. That's what I mean. Like instead of just being like the pick tank, I think it'd be much better off for him to be more of a control tank, kind of like a like a volley bear and such. You know,
Oh yeah,
just
okay.
use him more. Just let him be used more instead of just, hey, I'm taking the carry away from the team, and then that's basically my job done. Even though his gameplay is supposed to be like a tank, you know,
But you're basically seeing like it's kind of like a Rammus thing then. So
sort of, yeah.
okay, so that's something I'm looking forward to, from forward. Then it's if they hear this episode, because I want to see it right here is if they're like, oh okay, we'll make it better like that. We'll just probably increase something from what Alan said right now and blah 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 and all that too. So as much as I want to change Skarner's what was it that he throws a projectile, his Q.
This is E, yeah, the crystal thing that stuns, yeah.
I feel like that one should also deal damage too, at least to upgrade it a little bit, so that Skarner is just like a stunner jungler. Yeah, his ult, it does stun. It basically pulls and you could basically pull that person into the fight. But I feel like it's just that R. The E can't do really much anything at all. That's why I like feel like if you can rework it, you could change the E to more of a damaging E. You know, something that could like a spike or something like that. Like a Lissandra, like a Lissandra or not Lissandra, but who was able to poke real bad with that? Anivia, kind of like a Nivea Q.
Oh no, not yeah.
Except that's gonna be like more Scar on the E. You know, it's gonna proc like that and deal like pretty good damage. That's something I would like to change on Skarner.
Well,
Oh, yeah, that's what
I
I
think they
feel.
could do something with this W instead of just being a movement speed and shield steroid.
It gives a shield, right, for the W for Skarner.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think it could also give him heal too? That one I feel like that would be better. Heal also shield, and movement speed. Like that could actually be really good. Like fast Skarner, like tanky Skarner. Like he'll be really fast and rough. You can disagree. You can agree. Like, do you think he should add like a heal? It should add like a healing system to his W two or what?
Healing on a tank, huh? Huh. Gonna have to say no on that one.
Not like a lot, but just basically like a little bit. 'Cause obviously he's a tank, so he should not build a lot of healing like that too.
Yeah, but
Oh
gotta have
man,
his shield being based on max HP, so I don't know.
dude, imagine if he's able to heal with his W. He builds Bloodthirster and freaking heals. Use W all the single time just in movement speed and just go right in, heal immediately right after.
All right.
Yeah, so
I don't know about Bloodthirster on Skarner, but you can think about it if you want.
but yeah. Well, it actually considered what's a short episode this time. Consider I actually prepared this pretty well. Well, probably there was not a lot of things to talk about, anyways. Too. It was only like two champions week one at LCS. Just a fun day topic here. We only have like 46 minutes, anyways. So yeah, looks like we're gonna cut this pretty short. Alan, do you have anything to say before we finish?
Uh, Zeri good. Renato seems broken. There we go. That's my analysis.
Oh my god. Okay then. Yeah, you heard from Alan. Like I said, he's a former coach of TFA right here. From like really a long time ago, coach. He has been helping us really well. He's actually going to be helping us up with another league going on, the ASC league right here, as we doing right now. We're gonna be doing a tournament in the mid-season, kind of sort of like an MSI format too, where we're gonna be seeing different teams or different organizations duke it out to see who's gonna be known as the mid-season champion out of all orgs. It could be some independent teams. It's gonna be some teams from certain orgs and such. So we're just gonna look forward for it, to be honest. So Alan, do you feel like there's gonna be some competition here, competition in amateur league when you think about it? If you like put together a group of teams from different orgs, like kind of like worlds before amateurs, do you think there's gonna be a couple? Do you think there's gonna be a pretty hype or not?
I don't know, man. There's only one way to find out if it will be hype. I hope it's hype, but I guess we won't know until it actually happens.
Cause I know professional can be a little bit like long term, cause you have to wait like pre-6 you have to wait until the farm, and then once you get the chance opportunity, then you go for the first blood. But with this, you never know on what the players might do. So that's why I'm asking you if you think there's gonna be more fights. Do you think there's gonna be less fights, considering playing like now with this meta, people are just gonna try to play safer and all that too.
Man, if I don't see 10 kills before 5 minutes with this amateur league, I'm out, dude.
All right. Well, you heard from that, folks. That's Alan W2. And again, this is the League Lounge episode 4. We hope that you guys tune in again for another episode here. Like I said, the ASC League is going to have their invitationals here starting soon in 4 months in May. In May? In 3 months, actually. Oh my gosh, it started in 3 months already? Oh my goodness. Or not May, June. So May is gonna be the deadline here. June is gonna be the actual event. Like I said, Alan will be here to help check us out along with other casters and moderators and all, to just helping us out here. That should be all for now. So again, thank you guys for watching this episode. We will see you next time. Hopefully, we'll get another topic in first for a short while, or maybe in the next week or so. So thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you later.